The Mice Before Christmas. Words by Anne L. Watson. Pictures by Wendy Edelson. 'Twas the day before Christmas, and all through their house the mice were preparing. There wasn't a mouse who didn't join in for the holiday flurry. From top floor to bottom, they'd bustle and scurry. Their party was planned for that evening at 8, with so much to finish before it got late. So they scrambled and scampered, no task was neglected, to deck out the halls for the guests they expected. While Mama and Papa were trimming the tree, the parlor was locked and they'd taken the key. The children crept close to the keyhole to stare, but saw only curtains and maybe a chair. Then Uncle festooned the front door with bright trims, with garlands of holly and evergreen limbs, and garnished the branches from doorstep to header with morsels of chocolate and pieces of cheddar. The twins in the front yard were building twin snow mice, while Aunt in the kitchen made gingerbread dough mice. She opened the oven to check on the cooking, and Billy snitched cookies while Aunt wasn't looking. Upstairs in their bedroom, the littlest mice began wrapping gifts, doing everything twice. They cut paper crooked, got tape in their fur, and switched all the labels from him and for her. Then with sisters and brothers, they thronged through the hall to hang up their stockings. It took a whole wall. Excitement kept building while patience did not, till the clock in the hallway reached 8 on the dot. As the chimes started sounding, the door was thrown wide, and the guests in their finery crowded inside. Good wishes and greetings turned into a din of merriments traded again and again. Merry Christmas to you and to all in your nest. I hope that the new year will bring you the best. They chatted and drank steaming cider from mugs that often got spilled in affectionate hugs. While Grandpa played tunes on an upright piano, Matilda joined in with her squeaky soprano. The mice gathered round, singing carols and parts. Their voices rose high as they sang from their hearts. At last it was time for the gifts, so they flocked to the room with the tree, the big doors now unlocked. The tree was so lovely they gasped with delight. It sparkled and shimmered, its candles so bright. Its garlands of beads hung from silvery ties, and the star shone on top like a star from the skies.
Wow!
Beneath it were packages, gifts by the dozen, for all the relations, for fourth and fifth cousins, and presents for neighbors and one for each friend, for schoolfellows, tradespeople, gifts without end. The mice unwrapped presents and savored the pleasure of each special thoughtfulness, each little treasure. The gifts for the children were small, but they knew while they slept Santa Mouse would be bringing some too. And after the singing and gifts came the feast, food enough for a week of such parties at least. There was course after course and huge platters of cheese. No dish was left out that could possibly please. A flaming plum pudding came last, then the toast to the friends and relations, the guests and the hosts. When all of the tributes and thanks had been said, the sleepy small children were bundled to bed. Then they pushed back the tables and cleared off the floor as a 7-piece orchestra came through the door. The conductor stood tall, his baton gave the cues, and they danced like they all meant to wear out their shoes. They were dancing in lines, they were dancing in pairs. They waltzed down the hallways, they polkaed upstairs. They spilled out the doorway in time with the tune, and danced with the snow mice beneath the full moon. And as they were dancing, what sight caught their eyes? A colorful, fast-moving blur in the skies. Then clearly they saw it, a brilliant red sleigh, and lo and behold, it was headed their way. The hamsters that drew it were golden and white, while their harness was crimson, a marvelous sight. The sleigh streaked down wildly and landed quite hard, with all of the hamsters right there in their yard. Then their eyes all grew wide as the driver stepped down, with a look quite perplexed and puzzling frown. "It's Santa Mouse," all of them cried, and they ran to the sleigh to escort him inside. But Santa Mouse stood by his hamsters and said, "I'm sorry to say there's trouble ahead. A problem I've never run into before. I won't fit your chimney or even your door. You've so many children and all were so good. I'm afraid this big bag won't squeeze through as it should." Then Mama replied to him, "Don't be afraid. We'll bring in the gifts like a bucket brigade." So they set up a line and passed one to another, from neighbor to friend and from father to mother. When all was inside, Santa came in the house, and he filled up a stocking for each little mouse. Then all of the big toys he set under the tree. While he joked and he laughed, it was jolly to see. Then Grandma, with cookies and milk for his thirst, said, "Don't you dare go till you've eaten this first." He gratefully munched and declared through a bite, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." When Santa Mouse left, all the guests went home too. They were nearly worn out. There had been so much to do.
Bye.
Then the rest of the family fell into beds, too tired for sugar plums dancing through heads. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Not even a mouse.